Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing scholars went?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, when I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road.
Okay. Did you...
Anything else?
The scholars that have ggone missing.
Those eyes. Those fears.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, but honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others are good?
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened. It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever
Gotcha! Thank you! Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to sit and...
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. The last time I saw him, he was pacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite... And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking...
It was nothing. Hey, you're looking for him, right? Did he go?
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, once you found him, I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're
Wow, what a nice guy! Okay, thank you, sir.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Let's head over there. Stay cool. Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will...
Yes, of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true still. You say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about...
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King's civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why, but isn't it a sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense.
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where did you come from?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah! Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at...
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match for this guy.
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear, and that the Scarlet King will return to...
Hey, go on.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for... Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under the Scarlet King.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it! At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace. Please, don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty.
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village.
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's really not here right...
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are their...
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this.
Yes, got it. We'll do just as you say.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places. Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Join the Eremites and embrace a wonderful new life.
Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. This is where Grandpa usually stays.
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same one as... But are you okay? Are you getting...
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And then...
So, you know Tainari?
Huh? You know him too? Are you
Yes. Now that I concentrate, I can also make out the scent.
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture you too.
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest. From a scholar.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here.
Paimon doesn't see anything.
Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, there are footprints the size and shape. They belong to an adult male. This pattern the scent is quite faint, but still extant.
But who would come looking for Grandpa? He doesn't...
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a sip? Hey! What's wrong with liking good food? Everyone's got something.
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days, and will follow the scent.
No.
So someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the rat?
It's highly likely.
Please, you have to save my Grandpa. Grandpa's never done...
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let whoever took him get away with it.
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we learned here. After that, we'll set up...
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better.
We're back, Candace! We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Sounds like everyone's friends already.
Oh, Dia's here too!
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
Alhaitham didn't go with you?
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you. I guess he...
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a kind of incense to lead the exiled scholars away from the village.
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make a profit here. Not to mention, making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the patience. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then? Do we go back to the academia and...
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me on your team, so you get an extra tip. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he mentioned.
If Paimon remembers correctly, the leader of the radicals is some guy called Delavar.
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Enger, the wide-eyed butcher. These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their own. Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen to become radicals.
Tia! You're amazing! You really know this place.
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you is already... The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. You survive on making... Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me. Good, then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebot with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the Mad Scholars have been taken.
All right, sounds like a plan. Well, here we are again.
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel.
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose. Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded at their whim. We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Nothing more. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The academia believes we're underserving. Geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate, even though the academia knows very well that we're humans.
That's terrible.
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Dia. You're not thinking about doing anything scary.
No, not at all. This place just gets me thinking, that's all. Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep, we gotta catch those.
Shh. Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. We don't want our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find... Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean, you don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a drink too?
Zaki. Finally.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello, hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it? Drinking buddy?
We've had drinks together a few times. You could say we go back a ways. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they?
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall.
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together just to...
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. No,
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet?
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's...
Yes, how considerate of you.
Are we there yet?
Yep, this is the place.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on. A wild stab in the dark.
Oh no! It's an ambush!
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the academia to look—
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake!
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall—
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who— But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the—
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have...
Delavar. And Engar, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King despise the most.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors.
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic. You're all like a pack of
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can be—
Enough talking! Get him!
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Following orders.
Oh, so sorry.
Windblade! Be gone!
Dodge this!
You're in for a little shock.
Freeze! You're open!
Impossible! How could you?
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said after all. And of course you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fight. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others. That's what you thought, right?
You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching you.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Pathetic. Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you let them report back.
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some time.
Oh, you mean the funny name she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, Scarborough...
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled band. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how the Scarlet King is a...
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down. That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one...
Wait, so he's a radical too?
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses.
Wow, what a genius idea!
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from the usual playbook, if I'm...
So, that thing you were saying before...
About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora. And that anyone's a friend as long as there's a...
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people. I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be... But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything.
Dia...
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up and bring him to the village. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so you can too. She's been guarding Aru Village for quite some time now. If any-
While I'm questioning them, why don't you pass?
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day.
You heard the question. Now answer me.
Right on time. We'll know any moment.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for...
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong...
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside...
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of response. Us mercs, on the other hand...
Well, Paimon thinks you're great, too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early, too.
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, whoa, you look furious.
Do I?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll...
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community. You come here, to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal.
Mercy! Please, have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but a war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you...
We understand. We're sorry! I'll tell you everything I know, please, just...
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about... Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in the Scarlet King's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secret. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of could be from the academia. Some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take the village keepers. It strikes me now that this secretive character...
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now...
Not the academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keepers?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. A change in their plans likely means that... Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keepers.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready. Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am mere...
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to your... Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy!
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with...
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of...
Yeah, you're all talk!
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information.
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that...
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single...
You mean some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, the reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace...
Those eyes... Those...
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by
Right. You were asking about the I mean...
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keeper...
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so...
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurred...
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've...
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier...
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand.
Huh? What do you mean?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you hi, Traveler. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stick.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest...
Oh, Hatham told us you have your reasons. It's okay.
The fact is that I'm... only one side of my... Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that any...
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear, and then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation. And
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your secret.
all right. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear...
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, but because we're in the middle of a desert, you would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than...
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old...
I think they used to use it for treating Elezar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's go!
Is this an...
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape. Ah, monsters, watch out!
Cool it!
You're in for a little shock.
This moment will be frozen in time.
Windblade, be gone! No escape!
Come a little closer.
Dodge this! Freeze!
Surrendering will be gentle.
Dodge this! Oh, so sorry.
frozen in time.
Come a little closer.
Freeze! Dodge this!
You're in for a little shock.
Windblade! Let it rain!
Come a little closer. Looks like I got carried away.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected. Super strong bandits? Or monsters? He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look. Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then... I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
Okay, sure.
The natural position, which is the positional prepare.
So...
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey! Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in... Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden...
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
I can't wait any longer! Everything's ready. Let's go! Nice and spicy! Go!
Freeze!
Come a little closer.
Yep.
Out of the frying pan, into the fire!
Don't get frostbite.
Come a little closer.
Dodge this!
Booba, get them! Race you! You're toast! Nice and spicy!
That's close enough.
Cool it! Dodge this!
Booba, get them! Look! There's someone over there! Good idea! Let's approach him
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a...
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with...
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being... The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh, now that you mention it, they're...
Correct. The Academia is behind all of it. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were... These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feeling many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking, even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line, but there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to our...
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But if you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them.
Resource?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted and...
Extracted? You mean, can't not...
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night.
So, the human brain...
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But, or perhaps, his curiosity got the better of him, and he used...
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use...
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from the Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean, you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden...
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress...
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The Academia's actions run contrary, whether it be academics or knowledge. Everything has its boundaries. If this matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a type...
Wait! Didn't you step into...
Not to be callous, but no. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into the divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take...
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the Academia, but you're not one of...
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that. He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elezar hospital served as the Academia's site.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant and knowledge has been in circulation. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village.
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham, since you were all...
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any...
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, if you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is...
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have every so often comes a Nyagarbaha day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strong. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it. If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys!
Please, wait! I want to go...
You want to...
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be...
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember, Paimon feels like we're missing something. So, where do we go from here?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert. but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay. So, we have to dig it out?
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device. Something akin. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find...
Is this what we're searching for?
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they...
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do.
I knew it. That's our...
Dia? Why would you... Dia!
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? What?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that...
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and...
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing could deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting the Scarlet King.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort...
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring the Scarlet King back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life.
Even if it'll expose you to the Academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now, with these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the Academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The Academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the Academia.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed...
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. But these scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am...
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places?
Precisely. Any wise...
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars. Perhaps even find...
Think you can talk me over with that?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining...
You are the scribe. What do you have?
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge...
You Academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on...
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never...
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro...
We've known each other for years.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the Academia...
An arm from the Flame Maid. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here, then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to...
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman?
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Main, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own finger. You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually...
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a...
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would...
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself? Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring...
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today.
Fine.
They got here before us.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa! Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word.
It's a 1-for-1 exchange. And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge...
You stay right there!
Playmate! What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here?
You coward! Why are your hands shaking?
Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Grandpa! Paimon's dizzy.
This day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected it. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of less... The dendro archon.
Grandpa? Grandpa?
Hey, look around you.
There used to be a temple here?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to the Scarlet King's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorm, it could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise the Scarlet King!
What's he doing here? And his men?
They must have fallen down here with us. Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He...
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in.
As it happens, I want to take a look inside.
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of the Scar. 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or new discoveries are always worth investigating, whether they have anything to do with—
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. The Scarlet King will take care of his people. Right now.
Just what will we come across this time?
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension. It looked...
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Raman.
Huh?
Do you see an—
Are you mocking me? What do you mean, sir?
Interpret it however you want, but there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from the Scar—
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Dodge this!
Come a little closer.
Cool it!
Windblade.
Freeze!
Windblade!
You're in for a little shock.
Surrender and be gentle.
Nice and spicy.
Cool it! Oh, so sorry.
Out of the frying pan. You're toast.
Freeze!
Windblade. Prepare to be blown away. Nice and spicy.
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock.
Cool it!
It's a sight to see. The Scarlet King's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of the Scarlet King.
It's getting brighter. Oh, it looks so beautiful.
Wait, What's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
These are...
They left something behind. Yeah.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient Scarlet Kings?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they...
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The scent of life.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from the Scarlet King's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit...
Isn't sharing knowledge against the academia?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for you. You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. The Scarlet King brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping the Scarlet King to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
But this doesn't make any...
Was that the former Dendro...
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt the Scarlet King's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last...
I've never heard about the surviving followers of the Scarlet King all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. The Scarlet King's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, we saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans,
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known.
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me. My Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. I should probably go.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. But please, give me some time. After everything that's happened here today...
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people.
That must have been rough, but he seems to have figured things out now.
Ramon's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the death, it's too bad he was held back by his belief in the Scarlet King. But now that that's changed,
The outcome, at least...
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice...
Stop yelling.
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru.
I guess all I can say now is... Thanks for...
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on...
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turn pale like they've seen a ghost!
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise...
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why?
They wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really... They extract divine canned knowledge. Then...
I really don't know how to explain...
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Huh? Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said though, he asked them, do you wish to create a god?
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was after that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted...
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the scholar's madness for centuries, but nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Alhe. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the...
You must have noticed by now. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom...
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean? Is she not a true god present in this world?
From the beginning, when the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a root, not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has... Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is...
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're...
Sure, as you wish.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them.
The atmosphere is so heavy. Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case...
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh! Paimon's so
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super...
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there will be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be—
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense.
So, everyone, are we on—
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what of—
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.